Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Audi Greenville. We're going to take a look at their 2022 Audi A4 S-Line Prestige. Huge shout out to them for providing this sedan for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. The A4 that you see behind me is finished off in Navarra Blue Metallic, and it has a list price just over $56,000. And to start off today's review, we're going to take a look at what powers this A4. Underneath the hood is the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine paired to the 7-speed automatic transmission. This pumps out 261 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the Quattro all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 3,700 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 15.3 gallons. You'll expect to see around 24 miles per gallon in the city and 31 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 111 inches. Its overall length is 187.5. It has a width of 72.7, a height of 56.2, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.2 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this A4, let's start off with all the gloss black accents in this hexagonal grille. So as you can tell, the Audi badge is finished off in black. There's a nicely placed integrated forward-facing camera just underneath that, as well as a few parking sensors. Plenty of cutouts in that mesh provide a lot of cooling to that turbocharged engine. And then this also has some technology features like the adaptive cruise. There's a sensor on both sides, along with some more of that trim and parking sensors as well. This even has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. I love the sequential design that the turn signal has within the DRL. It's a really cool design, very iconic for Audi for their later models. And this has some great lines running down the hood. There's a strip on both sides basically running to the top section of the grille, right inside that headlight housing, and some crisp lines in the lower section of the bumper, just to give it more of an aggressive design, very sporty look for this Audi sedan. Making our way to the side, this has a set of 19-inch wheels with that 5-blade design, 2-tone finish, even the red brake calipers just behind them. This has gloss black on the side mirrors, as well as having the integrated turn signal, and then up on the roof is the sunroof. All of the window trim is blacked out just to match nicely with those mirrors, and the black trim that's in the lower section of the door. And there's great lines running down the side. There's a crisp line right at the hood line, and then going right through the gas cap all the way to the taillights. Nice rake for that rear glass too, leading on to the rear where this has one piece of carbon fiber that is on the trunk mounted wing. It has a nice design to it. It flows nicely with the line in the bodywork right on the back of the trunk, just above those LED taillights. Now the Audi logo on the back is blacked out. This has a camera with all the parking sensors, dual exhaust on both sides, and it looks fantastic finished off in this blue. So with the exterior wrapped up on this A4, let's move on to the cargo space. I can double tap the button on the key fob. It will automatically open up, where there's a lot of space for this family sedan. There's a net on the driver's side, flat surface to place in a lot of items, a net over on the passenger side, and the back seats can fold down. So when you have those folded, that provides a lot more interior storage for the size of this vehicle. And there's also a hook up on the top, so you can place bags, groceries, anything you don't want to slide around, which is great to see. There's 2 grab handles up top, so one on each side. I can easily use that to close up the trunk. And now we can move on to these back seats, where you can lock and unlock this vehicle using the back door handles, which makes it a lot more convenient. And this model is finished off in leather for this entire door panel. Cool trim piece just underneath the brushed aluminum release handle. There's the window control, as well as a little bit of storage, more leather and stitching on that grab handle, and 1 speaker. And the seats are finished off in black with more of that stitching running down them. Now I'm 5'10". It's time to work my way into the back. Door sill is a little bit short, but it's easy to maneuver myself down in here, where there's a storage pocket behind both front seats. Right in the middle are 2 air vents, as well as the heated seat controls. The temperature control is right in the middle. There's also 2 USBs and a 12-volt, so that way your backseat passengers can charge electronics. And right in the middle, we have the armrest, a little bit of storage space on the back section, and there's also a cup holder on both sides, so you can use those as needed and store them out of the way. As we move on to the front seats now, the door panels finish off just the same, with the addition of all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, which are heated and power folding. There's the release for the trunk, one of the Bang & Olufsen speakers, and a little bit of storage space in that back side. S is also down on the door sill, along with A4 on the all-weather floor mats. And these front seats have a similar design Just a great look. Now making my way to the front seats, door sill is low, so you do just kind of sink down into this vehicle, and the door opens up very wide. So it gives you a great entrance and exit into this A4. Steering wheel is completely covered in solid black leather with some brush trim pieces. On this right side is the heated steering wheel control, as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. There's also the tuning and volume for the radio. On this left side, there's a scrolling dial as well as arrows and view. So you can use that for that digital gauge cluster. And in order to go through those, let's fire this up. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on the right side. We can bring this A4 to life. And looking at this virtual cockpit, on the left side is the TAC, right side is the miles per hour, and right in the middle, you can go through a lot more info using those arrows over on this left side. So with this gauge cluster in this configuration, currently it's showing consumption. If I scroll down, there's long-term memory as well as the energy consumption, even the driver assistance. If I scroll back up, there's even the date and time. Now if I scroll to the left, there's any information like when you need to refuel. You can pull up the music, look at your phone when that is paired, and then even view the navigation. Now if you do have the navigation on and you want to see it in a more full screen, simply just push on the view button. Now the TAC and the miles per hour are minimized. With the navigation front and center, you can also go through all of that info that I previously showed. So if you want to see all of that in full screen, I love how you can do that. Those are the only configurable adjustments for that screen. So they are very helpful and easy to use. Over on this left side is also the cruise control stock as well as the adaptive cruise. Distance pacing is this button on the right side, so you can quickly set that up as needed. Over on this left side are all the headlight adjustments as well as the dimmer switches for the gauges. There's a large storage bin down below if you want to place in any items there. One air vent. This even has the heads-up display, so it's going to be hard to see right now, but it's showing miles per hour as well as the lane keeping assist. And then right in the middle is this touchscreen system that has a lot more info to go through. With all the icons that are shown right now, there's radio and media, phone and navigation. If I click on vehicle, where the screen has the haptic feedback, so it feels like a button on the screen, which is great to have. I can go into the select for the comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. There's even the efficiency assistance, going to the AC, the driver assistance, parking aids. If I click on home, we are back to the screen that you just saw. Swiping over one is the split screen for navigation, phone, and music. And I can scroll all the way over to the other side for a few more icons, just depending on what you'd like to use. Now on this left side, as you saw with the home button, there's also music, so you can go into your Sirius, as well as when you have your phone paired, you can hook it up. You can go into your phone if you need to use that when you have that on and running, and then a quick look at the navigation in full screen. So just like the gauge cluster, not a whole lot of information, but it is usable, very helpful for daily driving. Now below that, there's an air vent. There's even more air vents going all the way over the passenger side, so it flows nicely. And then right in the middle is another LCD screen for all the climates. This does have dual zone, so the temperature dials are on both sides. Right in the middle is the fan speed, finished off in brushed aluminum for all these toggles. There's where you'd like the air to go, along with AC, being able to sync these. And if you hover your finger on the button, you can actually see if you need to push it up or down for the setting you want to go into. Very cool to see that, so that way you're not guessing. You can easily go to max or off. And then this even has heated and ventilated seats, so those controls are on both sides. Working our way below that, these are shortcuts to the drive select as I just showed, so you can quickly get to those as needed. There's traction control as well as the engine start stop feature. This even has parallel parking, so you can use that if you're in the city and you need a little bit of help. You can turn on and off the parking sensors. You can even turn on and off that upper screen if you'd like to. And then there's a 12 volt along with a USB, the engine start stop button, 2 cup holders, and a little bit of storage space in front of that. There's even more storage in front of the leather shifter. And with the release, I'll put this into reverse just by pushing it forwards. This has the 3D camera system. So we have the backup camera along with the top-down view. And if I open this up, there are a few more camera angles just depending on what you'd like to see. You can even turn the guidelines on and off as needed. See where the front and rear wheels are. Go into the parallel parking if you need that assistance. And then pushing on camera. You can even pull up the sensors on one half with some info on the other half. Not sure why you would do that, but it is available if you'd like to. Drive is all the way back, and then if I push it over to the right side, you can use these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, which are finished off in black if you'd like to shift using that, or the shifter itself. And then park, you can push on the P, it will automatically go into that position. The electronic parking brake is just behind that, along with power and volume for the radio, a little bit of storage just behind that. There's even more storage in front of the center armrest, which is finished off in leather. If I open this up, that is actually one solid compartment leading to a USB-C in the back section. And then over on the glove box, plenty of room for all the information you need to place down there. We'll take one last look at these seats, which have a great design to them. And like I mentioned, this has a sunroof with the manual adjusting sunshade. The sunroof adjustments are right in the middle, along with the touch sensitive dome lights, and there's a few call buttons on the back section. As we get behind the wheel now for this 2022 Audi A4, this is a really cool model. I love the size of this sedan because it offers a lot of space, even for the backseat room. If this is your only vehicle, you're looking for a smaller size sedan, you have plenty of room. The fact that you can fold the seats back or fold them down gives you a lot more interior space. And I like for the price, you're getting a lot of nice technology too. With the digital gauge cluster, everything that you've already seen me go over, it's a nice interior. I love everything about it, all of the materials as you've seen. But with this out on the road, let's quickly put it into a dynamic mode just by using one of these arrows. I have it into the manual settings, so now we can use these paddle shifters. And we will downshift here, coming up to a turn. We are down into second gear, and now we can give it a little bit of gas. Even going through these twisties, it handles well. I'm always impressed when I drive Audis because they are really nice. I love how they handle, and with the Quattro all-wheel drive system, you can drive this year-round and just have a good handling car. Now, even though this has the 2-liter turbo, it's not the most performance-oriented engine that you can get for the A4. You can go up to the S4, but even with the pep in this engine, I really don't think you need to. So while it's not a performance-oriented Audi sedan, it gives you a good amount of power and a mild acceleration, and we are up to speed. It's not loud. This is not a loud Audi, so don't expect to hear the exhaust or anything. It's a very quiet sedan. Very good for daily driving. There's no wind noise, road noise, or anything like that. And as we switch over to the POV angle now for this A4, still have it in dynamic mode. We'll give it a mild acceleration. And we are up to speed. Just like that. The paddles are actually pretty responsive for this not being a performance-oriented model for this Audi. And again, I love how it drives. Very comfortable and smooth. Brakes do a great job too. And as far as visibility goes, from the driver's seat, really easy to see over that passenger side. Over my left shoulder, I can easily see out of that window. And then with another acceleration around this hard left, it handles exactly like you would expect with some pep in this engine. So it's a great option. Again, for the price, you're getting a well-rounded sedan that gives you a lot of features, the navigation, all of that. And a vehicle that's going to be reliable too. I do own an Audi, and from my experience, they're very nice. So not trying to be too biased towards it since I do own one, but just my personal experience or ownership experience with Audi. They're very reliable, very fun to drive too, and you have a lot of different models. What I love about Audi too is that most all of their trim models are very similar. It's really just the materials that change. So the screens are going to be the same. We have the digital gauge cluster too, and then just some of the materials will be updated. So it feels like you're in the same vehicle with some minor differences here and there. So I really love that about Audi. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this 2022 Audi A4 S-Line Prestige. Once again, a huge shout out to Audi Greenville for providing this for me today. Check out their website. That link is down in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.